soon we will start the other Bible message time. So we will say bye-bye to you for now, and then I will send you a link for YouTube.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Lawrence fell asleep. Bye-bye.
Bye, 真央さん。またね。
Take care. We will see you again soon. Okay.
I'm so happy to spend this time with everyone.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
I am
Thank
glad.
you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay. So we're on, I think we're okay on YouTube. 皆さん、こんにちは。参加してくれてありがとうございます。Yeah, please turn that. It's pretty warm. Yeah, I'm hot, sorry. I got sunburned today. So 日焼けだからちょっと暑い。OK。第一コリントの16章。We're almost done. もうちょっと、もう少し終えますね。多分来週です。今日は、結びの言葉ですね。このセクションは、使徒パウロの結びの言葉ですけど、コリント人への最後の言葉ですけど、今日は13節から18節までをちょっと考えてみたいと思います。We're going to look at verses 13 to 18 of this last section of Paul's last remarks, his last words in this letter to the Corinthians. He's going to write a second letter, which is 2 Corinthians, but these are going to be his last words for now to the Corinthians. And our theme today is going to be the duty, our duty as Christians. 今日のテーマは、クリスチャンとしての私たちの義務です。We have a duty as Christians to ourselves, a duty to ourselves, we have a duty to Jesus, and we have a duty towards others. 自分自身に対する義務もあるし、主イエス様への私たちの義務もあります。そして他者にする義務もあります。ですから今日はこの3つのポイントについて少し話したいと思います。Let me read the passage for us first in English and Japanese, and then we'll delve into it. From verse 13, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. Now I urge you, brothers, you know that the household of Stephanos were the first converts in Achaia, and that they have devoted themselves to the service of the saints. Be subject to such as these and to every fellow worker and laborer. I rejoice at the coming of Stephanos and Fortunos and Achaicos, because they have made up for your absence. For they refreshed my spirit as well as yours. Give recognition to such people. 目を覚ましていなさい。信仰に基づいてしっかり立ちなさい。惜しく強く生きなさい。何事も愛を持って行いなさい。兄弟たち、お願いします。あなた方も知っているように、ステファナの一家は、アカヤ州の初歩で聖なる者たちに対して労を惜しまず世話をしてくれました。どうかあなた方もこの人たちや彼と一緒に働き、労苦してきたすべての人々に従ってください。ステファナ、フォルトナト、 赤や子が来てくれたので大変嬉しく思っています。この人たち、あなた方のいない時に代わりを強めてくれました。私とあなた方と元気つけてくれたのです。このような人たちを、重んじてくださいと記されています。These are his last words to the Corinthians. ですから、この箇所は、使徒パウロの結びの言葉ですね。I want you to think for a moment about writing a letter. ちょっと手紙を書くことについて、考えてくださいね。想像してください。We don't write letters anymore. We do email ですね。or text message. 今の、コミュニケーションはちょっと違いますね。あんまり手紙を書くことはないですね。現在です。And at this time, when you wrote a letter, they didn't have a computer. They had parchment that was only so long, and you had to write it and fold it up. Then you had to take it. There was no post office. You had to take it you had to send it either by someone else or you had to take it yourself to give it to someone. この時代ですね、郵便はなかったんですよ。そしてパソコンもないです。手紙を書きたい場合は、自分の手で書く必要でした。そして書いてから自分でその友達に持っていかなければいけなかったわけです。それとも代わりにメッセンジャーとして送ることもできるわけですね。できたわけですけど、So, when you're going to write something as your conclusion, you want to think about it. If you could write something to someone, it's the last time. You don't know if you're going to see them ever again. For example, Eva, if you could write something to Mimi, and this would be your last letter to her, what would you write? I don't know. ですね。ちょっと想像してくださいね。好きな人へ手紙を書くことですね。それについて考えてください。最後は結びの言葉ですね。何を書いた方がいいかな。その人をもう一度会うかどうかわかりませんから、何を書いた方がいいかな。What would you write? Well, he's very specific here. Paul is very specific. And in verse 13, he wants to write about the Christian's duty to themselves. He's mentioning three things here. 13節ですけど、使徒パウロはコリント人たちだけでなく、すべてのクリスチャンに結びの言葉ですけども、自分自身に対する義務ですね。自分自身に対する義務ですね。He mentions three things. 3つのことですね。目を覚ましてください。目を覚ましていなさい。そして、信仰に基づいてしっかり立ちなさい。そして、男らしく強く生きなさい。という感じですね。He says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Very interesting choice of words, right? He could have said anything. He could have said, make sure you eat pizza. Or he could have said, go on vacation. could have said a lot of different things. The first thing he says is keep your eyes open. 目覚めてください. Wake up. ですね。Many years ago, there was a movie called The Matrix. 見たことはありますか？マトリックスという映画見たことはありますか？ Very popular. And in that movie, at the beginning of the movie, this computer hacker named Thomas Anderson realizes the world he lives in is not the real world. There's another world that's actually the real world. And he meets a man who gives him a choice. He gives him two pills, a red pill and a blue pill. ネオというハッカーはモーフィアスに出会って、モーフィアスはあるチョイスをこういうチョイスありますね。赤い薬、赤いカプセルと青いカプセルをどちらを飲みます？ And he says to him, if you take the blue pill, you won't remember this incident. You'll fall asleep and you'll wake up in your bed and you're like, what was that a dream? But if you take the red pill, you're going to see how the world really is. You're going to wake up and see the world for what it is. And so what did he do? He takes the red pill. And Neo wakes up and he's naked. He's bald like me. And he's connected to a computer. And he realizes he's in a different world completely. It's kind of scary. So I'll stop there. ネオはあるマシン的なカプセルの中で目覚めました。そして本当の世界が見ることができます。Well, we as Christians have taken the red pill. We've taken Jesus and we've waken up to how the world really is. This world is not as good as it seems. This world is fallen. Satan is controlling this world. この世の支配者はサタンでしょ。サタンは世界を支配してしまいますよ。Especially Mizu-san, she's going to go back to China. Not that everything in China is bad, but there's some bad parts about the Chinese government, right? The Chinese government is very strict. In fact, it's that way everywhere. There's parts of America where the government is evil. That comes from Satan. He is the ruler of this world. We have to stay awake. In fact, in this verse in the original Greek, these are military terms. この節ですね、13節の言葉は、動詞ですね。動詞は全部併合？漢字は違うかな？併合？I forgot how to write go. これ？こうですね。併合。Military words. He's talking about us, our duty. We're in a spiritual battle. 私たちは霊的な戦いに入り込んでしまいましたよ。And so he's using military terms here. Stay awake, stay alert. A soldier is awake. He's his weapon. He's stand firm in the faith. He's act like a strong. This is military imagery. これは兵士のようなイメージですね。In fact, there's a concept in ancient Roman military culture called the 鉄道。ローマの文化によると兵士の文化か。鉄道というのはローマ軍の歩兵戦術の一つです。This is a military tactic. これは盾ですね。シールド。 ちょっと違うね。この形ですね。そして兵士は後ろに立って、これは盾です。テストドはラテン語で亀、タートルですね。そういう形ですね。という意味ですね。亀という意味です。そしてその名の通り、歩兵が互いに重なり合うほどに密集し、盾を掲げた姿は亀のようです。また行動も亀のようにゆっくりしていたのです。So this is called 鉄道 in Latin, if I'm saying it right. And it's a military pattern. The soldiers would line up with their shields. And they would get in this turtle formation. And they would have their spears. And they would stand close together. And the soldiers behind would have their shields up. So the front soldiers would have their shields like this. The soldiers behind would have it up, and so forth. And they'd slowly move forward. They wouldn't break formation. They would stay strong like a turtle. And that technique, with that technique, they won so many battles. It was a defensive technique. This is what we need to do as Christians. We're together. If you're fighting separate by yourself, you're going to lose. もし一人で戦うならば、負けるじゃないでしょうか。He says to them, be watchful, stay awake, stand firm, get together, stay together in faith. This is the faith. これは信仰ですね。キリストへの信仰です。Use the shield of faith でしょ。エペソの6章。信仰の盾ですね。使いなさい。And so stand firm, and we slowly move forward in the battle. 少しずつ進んでいますね。But we're together. He says, act like men, be strong. Why did he say act like men? Well, in Greek culture, it was okay for the men to act effeminate. Some of the men acted like women. Do you know the group BTS? BTS というスーパーグループかな韓国人ですか？アイドルグループですね。でも韓国人でしょ？ I don't know anything about it. 全然知らないですけど、調べますと、男ですか？ When I researched this supergroup, 6人ですか ?8 人ですか ?8 人います？わからないけど、6人は女の人みたいな顔ですね。外国人にとっては、ちょっと、でも、すごく有名ですね。本当に有名ですね。The BTS, they're very popular, but they look like, to me, girls. Very, I don't know how to do their stuff. And they do their dancing, and their songs and their rap. でもすごく popular ですね、今は。But I don't know why that's popular. But it's not manly. でも、recently, because they are Korean, they have to join the military for 2 years or 3 years, right? Military is different than dancing, right? You have to be a soldier. So they're going to change through this experience. They're going to learn about the world. They're going to learn what it's like to be a man. Well, Paul's saying be manly because You have to be strong as a Christian. You can't be weak. You're in a spiritual war. Act like men, be strong. というアドバイスですね。That's our duty to ourselves. We have to do that. We have to stay awake. We have to get in the battle. And we have to not give up. Be strong. 強く生きなさい。強く生きなさい。That's our duty to ourselves. But then he says in verse 14, our duty towards Jesus. Let all that you do be done in love. 何事も愛をもって行いなさい。Isn't that a little confusing? He's just been talking about being a soldier. You don't think about a soldier loving his enemy, right? You don't think about a soldier doing everything with love. A soldier does everything for his commander. Well, that's true. Well, we have a commander, it's Jesus. And Jesus is our example. イエス様は私たちクリスチャンの模範ですね。そして、イエス様は何事も愛を持ってなさいましたよ。よろしければ、マルクの福音書の12章。Turn to Mark 12. Everything Jesus did was done out of love. Love for his Father first. But also he did it out of love for man. So even though we're soldiers, we're called to this high standard of love. イエス様のすごく最高の愛の基準に私たちを呼んでくださいました。Mark 12, verse 28. And one of the scribes came up and heard them disputing with one another, and seeing that he answered them well, asked him, which commandment is the most important of all? 彼らの議論を聞いていた一人の律法学者が進みで、イエスが律法にお答えになったのを見て尋ねた。あらゆる掟のうちで、どれが第一でしょうか? Jesus answered, the most important is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. イエスはお答えになった。第一の掟はこれである。イスラエルよ、聞け。私たちの神である主は唯一の主である。心を尽くし、精神を尽くし、思いを尽くし、力を尽くして、あなたの神である主を愛しなさい。第二の掟はこれである。隣人を自分のように愛しなさい。この二つに勝る掟は他にないと書いてあります。So Jesus said it right there. According to the law of Moses, there's really only two commands that if you do those commands, you're going to do everything else perfectly. Love God first and foremost with everything, and love man as yourself. Now, we can't do this perfectly. この二つの掟はものすごく難しいでしょ？私たちは罪人だから完全にできないわけですけど、それにもかかわらず、イエス様は私たちの模範です。イエス様こそがこういうふうに生きておられましたよ。完全に神様に喜ばれましたから。Also go to 1 John, 第一ヨハネの手紙、第一、3章の16節。1 John, chapter 3, starting from verse 16. ヨハネの手紙第1の3章の16節。イエスは私たちのために命を捨ててくださいました。このことによって私たちは愛を知りました。もう一度お読みします。イエスは私たちのために命を捨ててくださいました。このことによって私たちは愛を知りました。だから私たちも兄弟のために命を捨てるべきです。そして18節。子たちよ、言葉や口先にだけではなく、行いをもって誠実に愛し合おうと書いてあります。Little children, let us not love in word or talk only, but in deed and in truth. By this we know love, that he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers. That's how we know that's how we know what love is. Jesus giving away his life for our salvation. こういうふうに本当の愛を知りますね。知っています。イエス様が自分の命、私たちの救うために自分自身の命を捨ててくださったわけです。なんと素晴らしいことでしょう。それは本当の愛です。そして私たちも行いをもって、愛をもって行いなさいというふうに生きるべきです。子たちよ、言葉や口先だけでなく、行いをもって誠実に愛し合おう。For example, I can tell Evangeline every day, Evangeline, I love you. I love you, Evangeline. I love you, I love you. But when it's time to eat, what if I don't give her any food? Is that love? But I said I loved her. 何回も I love you, I love you 言っても、でもエヴァちゃんに食べ物をやらなかったら何の愛だろうか。不思議ですね。おかしいですね。So our words are meaningless if we don't back our words up with action. We have to show our love through action. Not just words. Yes, words are important. Some people love to hear words. If they hear I love you, like, ah. But some people want to see. They want to see that you love them. And that's what God wants. He wants to see our love. He doesn't just want to hear I love you, I love you. That's part of it. We can express our love in worship. 礼拝中は言葉によって神様への愛を示しますけど、日常生活の中で、行いをもってその愛を表すでしょ。We have to love each other and the Lord through action. That's our duty to Jesus. それはイエス様への私たちの義務でしょう。イエス様はすべて私たちのためになんというかなさってくださいましたね。私たちの救うためにすべてはイエス様が背負って支配してくださいましたね。So we have an obligation to the Lord to love like He loved. ちょうどイエス様が神様、父なる神様と隣の人を愛されたように私たちもイエス様に対して愛し合って互いに愛し合うべきです。 We need to love each other like Jesus first loved us. We can't do it perfectly. But as we grow in grace, we can do it. And the little that we do, He loves and accepts. Okay, 最後は、よろしければ第一コリントに戻りますと、He says, Now I urge you, brothers, you know that the household of Stephanos were the first converts in Achaia, and they have devoted themselves to the service of the saints. 地図を見ますと、これはアカヤ州ですね。If you remember from last week, this is where Corinth was, down on this little peninsula thing. But this is Achaia in the ancient world. This is like 岐阜県じゃないけど、まあ、岐阜県ですね。これは、福井県とか。Just imagine that, right? And Corinth was a city there. When Paul went there, the first people his message were Stephanos and his family. And Stephanos and his family became leaders in the church. Look what it says about them. They devoted themselves to the services of the saints. ステファノの一家はアカヤ州の初訪で聖なる者たちに対して労を惜しまず世話をしてくれました。They served the believers. They did whatever they could. What would they have done? Maybe the church met in Stephanos' home. We don't know exactly. Maybe they gave them, the poor believers, food and medicine. Maybe they took care of the elderly. Whatever they did, they were doing their duty towards their brothers and sisters in Christ. ステファノか。日本語でステファナたちは、まあ、他のクリスチャンたちに対して、使いましたか。世話をしてくれましたからね。What does he tell the Corinthians to do? He says, be subject to these and follow and every fellow worker and laborer. つまり、他のコリント人たちは、先に救われたコリント人、赤い人に従った方がいいという、アドバイスですね。And these men, they came on behalf of the Corinthians and ministered to Paul. 17節、ステパナ、フォルトナと赤い子が来てくれたので大変嬉しく思っています。この人たちはあなた方のいない時に代わりを務めてくれました。So they served even Paul. Whatever they did, maybe they brought Paul money or something that Paul needed. Stephanos and Fortunos and Achaicos were servants of the church. They were like deacons or maybe even elders. この3人は長老たちみたいな人、働き者ですね。属してきたものです。つまり、教会を務めてくれる人たちです。And because of that, the Corinthians had a duty to recognize such people. ですから、コリント人たちはこのような義務はありました。このような人 たちを重んじてくださいということですね。つまり、このような、この大切な人を、認められてください。認めてくださいね。Recognize such people. They are important for the health of the church. And so we have a duty to one another, brothers and sisters. 私たちも他者の兄弟たちに対する義務もあります。All of us have different roles in the church. We don't all have the same responsibility. But notice how Paul preached the message to Stephanos. Stephanos believed. So Paul served Stephanos. And then now we see Stephanos serving Paul, helping Paul, right? So it's not from the top down. It's mutual. 教会は、こうじゃなくて、ピラミッドですね。これは牧師か。聖なる信者ですね。こういう形はちょっと違うんですね。牧師は、長老は確かに、羊飼いとして、兄弟姉妹を牧しています。でも、信者たちも、牧師とか長老とか、リーダーとかディーカンに対して、務めることができますね。So Paul had ministered to Stephanos, and Stephanos was now helping Paul, giving something back. So as Christians, we can't always take. We have to give back. And it's not money. It could be money. It could be helping. It could be whatever gifted you with. You're supposed to give that back to the church in some form, in some fashion, to minister to God's people. That's all of us. We all have that obligation, that duty. 私たちは一人一人がそういうふうな、そのような義務ありますね。互いに努めなさいとか、互いに愛し合いなさいということです。Give recognition to such people. So, brothers and sisters, we'll stop here for today and finish the last words of Paul next week. But let's remember this duty to be like soldiers in this spiritual battle. 私たちは霊的な兵士ですね。サタンに対して、この世に対して、そして自分自身の肉に対して戦うものです。霊的に。そして戦いながらイエス様への義務もあります。すべては愛を持って行いなさいということですね。愛を持ってすべてを行うべきです。そうして、兄弟姉妹に対しても、努めるべきですね。そうすれば、元気に続けて、イエス様の教会もだんだん立ち上げると思いますね。はい。If we do this, if we serve one another, if we love Jesus as much as we can with all that we have, and we keep watch as soldiers over ourselves, we will grow and the church will grow. はい、以上です。Ray, would you hit the stop button, please? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. ありがとうございます。